So what type of position is suitable for you? So it depends on your background and your interest. So based on ranks, we know they have professor, assistant professors, lecturers or instructor, and research associates. So if you are a graduate student, especially PhD student, then you should not look for professor or assistant professor. You have to start with assistant professor. That is a good choice. But still you can apply for lecturer and instructor positions. If you get the full-time jobs and salary is good, you should look for that. And for PhD students, mainly your focus should be tenure track, assistant professor. For the lecturer position, PhD is a requirement. Sometimes only masters is a requirement. So lecturer and instructor, if you're a master's student, then you can look for lecturer or instructor position. And for research associates, in general, they look for the PhD students. There is some research scientist positions, so master's students can also apply for those jobs. So tenure and non-tenure track. So of course you should look for tenure track. That means after 6 years, when you become tenure, the job is permanent. So yeah, there is no possibility you will be fired unless you did some corruption or crime. Non-tenure track, full-time or part-time. If you are master's student or PhD students, still you're working and you're looking for a job, in that case you should look for, or you can look for part-time or full-time jobs in your nearby colleges and universities. You can send emails and your resume to the development chairs. Sometimes they look for part-time professors or even full-time professors for limited term, maybe for only 1 semester and 2 semesters, and usually many of those positions are created in a short notice. So if you are graduate students, masters or PhD, you are looking for some part-time job, you can send your CV to the department chairs of your nearby colleges and universities. Tell them I'm interested. If there is any opportunity, well, I'll be happy to serve as part-time or full-time instructor professors. So also there are research positions and teaching positions, so you need to look for which one is good for you. So research positions, of course, it requires PhD, and also it requires papers, and sometimes it requires for funds. Teaching positions, there is the main focus is on teaching, so you have to take probably 4 classes per semester, but you don't need to do something significant in your research. So good to have papers to get this kind of position. So for faculty position in research area, so there can be different type of research universities. So can be tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So tier 1 means the heavy uh, research university. Also for teaching, also there can be tier 1, tier 2, by the way. And for research university, there is some categories also, the class A, class B. So the universities, those are very high ranked university and heavy research activities. Then those universities, they will ask for the fund. That means once you get the job, so you need to bring some fund. For example, they can requirement for 100K fund. You have to bring that much money within the year first 5 years, or maybe 700K fund. That much dollar you have to bring in your the first 5 years of job. To get job positions in a heavy research universities, it is good to have experience in writing paper and also writing grants. Of course, you should have few good journals, and it is highly recommended to write a couple of grants. You can ask your professor, well, I like to help you about writing the grants, so give me something to do. So you can help your professor about writing grants, and if you can bring some grant while you are a graduate student, you have a very high possibility to go for a very heavy research universities. So if the research university is not the top class or high rank, very high ranked universities, in that case you should have PhD, and also you should have at least few good journal papers. But still, you should try to uh, have some experience in writing grants. That will definitely help and give you some extra advantage over other candidates. For teaching positions, you should have some papers that will help you after you get the job. During the tenure, there should not be any requirement for bringing fund. So teaching position is more stable in terms of being tenured. Research position is more challenging, but there are more fun. So for teaching, probably you have to take 3 to 4 classes per semester, and for research you have to take probably 2 classes per semester, and you will have graduate students. And for teaching, well, in some universities, those are very good teaching universities, the high rank teaching universities, but there is no graduate program. So yeah, those differences you should know before applying, and you should choose what position actually you are looking for. So if you enjoy teaching a lot and you want to secure your job uh, more easily, you should go for teaching positions, so because there is no challenge for bringing fun. Otherwise, if you want to be involved in research heavily, you should look for research positions. Online positions usually ask for experience, so usually they ask for 2 3 years experience, or sometimes 4 5 years experience. But if you don't have experience, still you're encouraged to apply, and you should get introduced with some online tools. For example, the Blackboard. Uh, there is Teams or Microsoft. Also, there is a classroom tool for the Google. So you should try at least you should get familiar with the most popular online teaching platforms and tools. You should have some ideas, and if you can get some experience that you can show on your CV, that will be a great advantage to get a online position job. Now there are some other special positions at universities. For example, some universities are mainly based on the church. So some universities, they specifically require for certain they have certain requirements for faith, students' faith. So if you follow that faith, then you are encouraged to apply, otherwise no. So if that criteria matches for you, then you should consider it. Some universities, they focus on the minorities, and if that benefits you, you should look for that. HBCU, historically black colleges and universities, there are some universities, those universities mainly focus on the black students and employees, but they're open to all other employees. And those universities in general, if there is research activities, very very good possibility to get a good research grant from those universities. So those are the main classifications. So based on those information and the background you have, you should choose which one is your higher priority and which one is your lowest priority.